Hello and welcome back to the final week of the Hearthstone Global Games. Once again, I'm Falcone, joined of course by Lorinda, and this is it, the last game we're casting here from the studio in Poland. It's going to be Netherlands versus Ukraine. What a game to go out on.
Yeah, going out on one of the biggest matches of the tournament so far. The last match was amazing as well, in terms of the lineups at least, and we are going to go out on a big one. And last week, this was a massive one.
Yeah, Netherlands versus Brazil was massive. Again, we talked about it briefly earlier. I really suggest you go back and watch that game. Netherlands did some incredible things to come back in that series. But, oh man, you said that you want to support Netherlands in this game?
I think so, yeah.
I think I'm actually going to side with you this time, because Netherlands is one of my favorite teams in this tournament. Ukraine, obviously one of the powerhouses. I feel like Netherlands might be a little bit of an underdog, maybe slightly.
I think I agree. I do agree.
But they're the team that I think I would like to see take this, though I'd be happy either way.
Yeah, and let's have a look how they got to this spot here. We have had the Czech Republic go to the top 4 in the finals. It will all be shuffled up when we get there, I believe. I think everyone just advances, but I'm not sure. Mexico, South Korea tomorrow, Thursday night.
Thursday.
And then we're going to see this one, Ukraine beating Austria and Netherlands squeaking past Brazil in a match they looked like they'd lost more than once.
Yes, it was a close one. I can't really push that home enough. You should go watch it after you're done here. But now, you're not going to want to miss this one, because we've got some of the best players in the world in Hearthstone here. Some of the most popular, some of the best. Let's take a look at the players representing these teams. But again, if there's anyone here you don't already know, then you probably don't watch that much competitive Hearthstone.
Yeah, this is just crazy, crazy lineups here. Nerea, Dr. Hippie, Kalento, Nick Chipper. If you've got your team where Nick Chipper's the least famous, you've got a very good Hearthstone team. Ties, Tyler, Mitsuhide, and Theo. Again, same goes for Theo. We spoke to him. He is just as much a part of this team as anybody. He has streams and all that. All of these people, if you haven't heard of them, you should go and find out who they are now. I know it's our job to tell you, but go and do it yourself as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Tyson and Tyler are, I guess, the obvious ones, like the obvious famous ones. But Theo, as you mentioned before, and Mitsuhide, he's always at these tournaments. Just top 16 DreamHack Valencia last week. Again, exactly. He did very well in DreamHack Summer as well. I think he got something around 19th, just short of top 16.
It's going to be really close, but you know the main thing between the Netherlands and Ukraine?
What?
Germany and Poland.
Right, really?
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're us, basically, right now?
Yeah, we're basically between them. 2 more countries.
That's why I was wondering why you were looking at a map a minute ago.
No, don't tell them that.
Oh, so
I know these things instinctively and with skill.
As we found out back in week 3, you need an atlas for this type of thing, Neil. But let's see how this series is going to go. Do I have to explain the format again, or do you think we can...
Explain the format again, otherwise I'll tell Cora.
Hearthstone Global Games is the best out of 5. 4 players on each team, 9 classes distributed between the 4 players. 1 player has a 3rd class. They get to go again if we get to the 5th game, and the 9th class is going to be the Ace class. But they've already predetermined the order that they're playing. Tyler, Theo, Tice, Mitsuhide, Kalento, Nick Chipper, and Nerea, Dr. Hippie. They've worked out their class pairings, and now they're presented with their opponent's 2 classes, and they have to decide which one class they want to bring. It's going to be Tyler on the Shaman, Kalento on the Hunter. Hunter.
What's one of those?
What is one of those? Hunter is one of these classes which has not been appearing in tournaments recently at all. There were no Hunters top 16 DreamHack.
Right.
There were no Hunters, I think, in several DreamHacks that have come before that DreamHack as well. Hunter has been very underrepresented.
Yeah, it's something I've said a lot. I don't think Hunter's actually that bad right now.
Right.
It's just, there's 2 reasons. First of all, it's not that good either. And secondly, it doesn't have that much play. And all of these players, when they get to this level, want to have play in their decks. They want to feel they're outplaying their opponents, and they want to feel it. They want to be outplaying their opponents. Even when they're up against another strong team, they still all believe they are the better player. That's how this works when you're at the pro level, and you always want to just not have to have a fairly straightforward-looking deck.
2 very recognizable faces just popped up there. We'll see them again in a moment. You should, again, if you watch a lot of streams, you'll recognize both of them. Kalento and Tyler both have huge followings on Twitch, and for good reason. They're both incredibly talented at playing Hearthstone.
I know Tyler's massively invested in this, whilst everybody else was out the day after DreamHack having a bit of fun at the beach or doing various things. Tyler did not come out. He had loads of prep work to do for this massive Hearthstone match, and he's a very, very dedicated pro, as you said. He does so many hours of play that although he had a brief night out the night before, he went straight back to work the next morning.
Meanwhile, Kalento, he did something recently, right? He did something.
You can say that about any period of time. Like, you go to any time in the last 3 years, you can say that Kalento definitely did something important recently.
Right now, of course, specifically, I'm referring to second place in HCT Spring Championship.
Got me 12 packs, I'm happy.
12? Oh,
3 servers. 3 servers. Got me a Caverns Below. Yeah, Kalento getting to the final, as you say, of that tournament, earning 4 packs for each server along the way, and making me a very happy bunny.
And now going to be eating up a pirate.
Going to be eating up a pirate with his crab. Not always seen in this Galactic Crawler.
No, Hunter is one of those classes where you kind of maybe see it 40% of the time. Is that fair?
I don't know, I'm just laughing at these patches just sitting there, staring at us.
You just ate my friend.
Yeah, he's all eyes and no ears to this one, though. Just go away, Patches.
Not in charge of anyone anymore.
He's in charge of the entire board. Oh, there he goes. Damn. Okay. Already awkward for Tyler. Obviously, the crawler's done a massive impact here, but his hand, your natural instinct is to play the Jade Claws, but the overload's horrible. I think you're in trouble here, to be honest.
Tyler needs to pick up a Devolve quick smart. He needs some way of dealing with Scavenging Hyena, Rat Pack with the Death Rattle, Houndmaster buffs. I think Devolve is the card that Tyler needs, and he needs it at the perfect time. In the meantime,
I mean, you so need to get this Stonehill down.
So you just totem up this turn, then.
The overloading seems so grim.
Maelstrom Portal's too important to waste.
One advantage of toteming up as well is it means your thing from below, if you draw it, can play on turn 4, but he feels that this needs to be dealt with and that he can deal with it by hitting it twice and just, ouch.
Works nicely, actually, because Kalento's best play is going to be Scavenging Hyena. Then Tyler can just trade into the crab and smack the hyena. Maybe smack the hyena first to not cause a huge mistake there. But
yeah, it's actually going to work out okay.
I don't think Kalento can actually do anything about that. He may just decide to play the Alley Cat instead. Trade the Galactic Crawler into one of the 1/1s just to make Tyler's trades inefficient there, but then Tyler can just Maelstrom Portal. So
not easy at all.
No matter what Kalento does here, because Tyler had the foresight to play that J-Claws and hit the damage in straight away, he's kind of set it up so he can deal with whatever Kalento throws at him now.
So Kalento will be looking now ahead to turn 4 and how to make this Houndmaster hit a beast. It looks pretty straightforward, so he'll be working backwards. Rat Pack on 3 is the easiest way to set that up. So he needs to make sure there's at least one of the rats going to survive. And with that in mind, he'll want to play around Maelstrom Portal on turn 3 as well. So he might not be too bothered about losing his board to Maelstrom Portal here, because it'll protect his rats.
Sure. But okay, straightforward from Tyler here. Weapon's going to go into the hyena first, then the minions are going to trade into the 3/2 to conserve that 1 health as well. Is there a way that Tyler uses Maelstrom Portal instead here? I feel like against Hunter the card's very valuable.
It really is.
Against all of the 1/1s, for example, that Rat Pack can generate against Alley Cat.
He does end up with 1 extra attack on the board by protecting the weapon that way.
Yeah.
And plus he gets the minion he gets from the portal. It's pretty tempting.
It's closer than I originally thought, yeah.
Like, you end up with a totem one way, the other way you end up with a random 1-drop.
And a weapon.
And a 2/1 weapon.
So playing the Maelstrom Portal now definitely gives a better board state immediately. All Tyler and Team Netherlands are going to have to be discussing now is, will I need that Maelstrom Portal later? What if I draw a Devolve and later on Devolve Maelstrom Portal becomes a possibility?
Yeah, what if they have Rat Pack? I mean, that's a huge deal.
Well, exactly. He is going to play it now. He's back. He's back.
You just can't get rid of these pirates.
Galactic Crawler just spat him back out again.
All right. And they're almost going to be rewarded for this. They're going to be able to clear up nearly everything. I think Rat Pack is the natural play still, though. Just again to have something for that Houndmaster. If Houndmaster gets anything, it doesn't matter how good, it makes such a huge difference in games.
And it's going to get something here. There's no way that Tyler can deal with both of those tokens that the Rat Pack spits out when it dies. But Tyler does have to trade the weapon into the Rat Pack at least, because if the Rat Pack himself gets hit by a Houndmaster, there's the additional benefit of more tokens being spawned later.
Awkward turn again, not only for killing stuff, but this is mana going down the drain, and because you're not toteming, it means that your thing from below is not getting anywhere. I wonder how tempted he is just to take Hot Spring Guardian here.
Do you survive until turn 8 to play Alakir? Do you survive until turn 7? You probably survive until turn 7, but is the Curator impactful enough on turn 7 to actually benefit you in this matchup? I think not. So Hot Spring Guardian looks like the best pick to me also.
Yeah, unless they figure that actually they can survive to turn 8 and might need some more aggression as well.
If they can get to turn 8, then Alakir is going to be the best pick.
The healing is valuable here. Yeah, they go for the Hot Spring Guardian. They're going to play their curve a bit better from future turns.
It's annoying for Tyler that that thing from below still costs 6. I wonder if there's some way he could have... If he did totem up that turn where he played the Maelstrom Portal, he'd still have that. Would that have been helpful later? Maybe.
Yeah, lots of things that have been very difficult in this game. Very straightforward looking hands, but every single turn has been super difficult, I feel.
Another 6-mana card.
But the curve is going to start sorting itself out about now. Totems upon totems. Still on 22. Not too bad, except Scavenging Hyena and Unleash the Hound is going to make a real mess at some point in this game against Shaman, because Shaman goes wide, even if he gets in front.
Do you like just 2 totems here then, Mana Tide and Hero Power?
I think so. It doesn't put much attack on the board. What else you got? Bloodlust might be tempting.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Okay. Clears the entire board.
The thing is, then they just drop a Rhino and you lose. Because you can't kill the Rhino, so...
But can you kill the Rhino anyway?
So let's see, if you play Mana Tide or Hot Spring...
Don't think you can.
Then you're in a problem anyway. So yeah, you're good call. Because they can't use the Bloodlust after all your minions are dead and the minions are dying anyway. Using the Bloodlust and just hope that the Netherlands don't have, that Ukraine don't have a great hand.
So as you said, Tyler could have just lost the game here if Kalento had exactly the 5-drop that he needed. But he doesn't, though Kalento could go wide.
Kalento actually comes to the conclusion that it's safe to go Grandmother, Hyena, Alley Cat. He will win this game of Hearthstone. I think that is actually what will happen. But he doesn't know if there's another Maelstrom Portal or if there is a way to get rid of the Hyena
Devolve.
first.
I've mentioned it a few times in this matchup. Devolve is a huge card, and now Devolve is going to be exactly what Tyler needs, although is it even enough? It will turn both of the 1/1s into 1/1s. Great, okay. Cunning Grandmother will become a random 1-drop. Scavenging Hyena will become a random 1-drop.
I feel we might just see Grandmother Alley Cat Hero Power here. That seems like the middle ground where you keep back the Direwolf for the Unleash, you keep back the Hyena to see where the board is, and you weave in a Hero Power, which is never too disastrous.
And though, Ukraine actually going to just go all in. Like you said, this is the game-winning play, isn't it? If Netherlands just goes ahead and plays a taunt now, then they just lose to the Hyena, but there's Jade Lightning.
Yeah, maybe Ukraine got the read from the Panic Bloodlust that actually there's just nothing here.
That's true.
There's nothing in hand.
I mean, a Flame Tongue Totem would have been much better than Bloodlust there.
Sure.
Would have done the same thing, but for 2 mana.
Any removal.
Also put a totem on the board. Jade Lightning would have been great last turn.
And they would have devolved, most likely as well in that situation.
But is this Snap Jade Lightning? I don't think it is. The problem is Tyler would have to then Hero Power. Thing from below is still a 6-mana minion here.
But then they run all of their minions into the thing from below, and if they've got any sort of kill command, the Hyena just goes crazy.
Thing from below is no good, but it's Aya or Jade Lightning.
I don't think I've ever seen Tyler without a silly smile on his face.
The concentration today has just been next level. It's so important to these guys at this point.
I mean, Kalento's not even blinked.
That's Rex now.
Oh yeah. All right, so they are actually not Snap Jade Lightning like you've called.
That's the Aya.
Oh. Unleash or Animal Companion. So sorry, Direwolf or Unleash. Sorry, there's only 3 combinations. I've said the 2 I was trying not to.
Yeah. I mean, Direwolf plus Unleash is
Yeah.
a combo in itself. Leok would be incredible from Animal Companion. I guess we start with Animal Companion and see what we roll.
That's what I'm thinking. I think you go Direwolf Unleash and just make a gigantic
Direwolf Unleash?
hyena,
Sure.
I think. That's what I was trying to say.
Right.
I'd like to pretend that I wasn't trying to say that. A bit like when I tried to say various letters of the alphabet, but
Which ones?
I don't know. That pirates like them.
Okay.
So Direwolf Animal Companion might be okay, actually, because you can put the Direwolf in between the two cats.
The trades are still awkward, though. The fact that the Aya has 3 health and the Jade Golem it spits out also is going to have 3 health, but...
Doesn't matter now. Everything's defended.
Yeah.
Just insane amounts of hyena.
Does the hyena trade? Surely not.
No, the hyena just goes bosh.
Tyler needs to draw to roll a spell damage totem right now, and even then, there's still what 10 damage, 12 with the hero power,
Right, I'm just
13 with
realising
Unleash.
why this was the play, because any of the 3 animal companions was good.
Yeah,
If you roll Misha, you do this. If you roll Leok, the 3/3 trades are easy because of the Direwolf.
yeah,
And if you roll Huffer, you trade it into this 3/3 that's left over.
right.
So whatever they rolled was actually going to be fine there.
Just trying to work out best case scenario for Tyler here. Even if he rolls spell damage, plays Jade Lightning, and trades in the 3/3, Unleash the Hound plus hero power is still lethal.
Wow. I mean, not only have they got to stop this from killing them, they've got to muster an attack at some point.
So Hearthstone Guardian finally going to come in handy. It would be great because it would take the hyena to trade with it.
Remember, there was a decision point. They didn't kill the hyena when they had the
Now
chance. They
it's
would
just-
have been a long way behind on board.
So Kalento going to take game 1 of the series with his Hunter. Tyler looking devastated there.
Yeah, I mean, that was just hard from turn 2 onwards.
Yeah.
And the reason it's devastating is not just that they've lost in style. That happens in Hearthstone. It's a thing that sometimes happens. But he had a decision to make every single turn. And he'll be naturally, we all do it, thinking, which turns could I have done differently? Did I make them decisions? Doesn't matter. They're done. You've got some important games to play with the rest of your team. Work it out later and get on with it.
This is where the playing together, not tilting, having each other's back
Right.
thing really comes in handy. And it's now up to the rest of Team Netherlands to kind of make sure Tyler is staying calm and so that he can move on and help the team in the future games. With Tyler, he doesn't really tilt too badly. He does very long streams, so he should be fine. Let's take a look at the next game coming up between Theo and Nick Chipper.
Mirror
Another
match.
Druid mirror match. What is it with today?
What is it indeed? Yeah, see what they come out with in a moment. Just want to go back to that decision point with not killing the hyena. When you've got a team like that and you know the risk you're taking, it's not like, oh, they missed it. It's not like they forgot. They thought about it until the rope went down.
Right.
You have to have somebody in the team go, look, we're making this decision, and if we lose because of it, we made the decision on all the information at the time correctly, because they will have known that decision was weird.
Yep.
So they've just got to get over that and get on. And you're right, they will.
Yep, they will. They'll move on. They'll just take the minute to reset. If there is a slight pause between that game and the next, there you go. There's Theo. There's Nick Chipper. Where's Nick Chipper right now? That looks different.
He is at school.
Sure.
Teacher will come in a minute, start writing Hearthstone maths. He's
Oh.
on holidays, we're hearing.
We've been told by production he's on holidays. Yeah, I guess it is summer, right?
Is that where Ukrainians go on holiday?
Into the dark
Dark
room.
room? I don't know.
Grey walls.
Could be nicer than the UK anyway.
Right, well, the game is starting, and from the corner of my eye, I can see some aggressive decks. We may have called anything to do with Jade Druid absolutely wrong today. Today is the day of the aggro Druid.
And both of these looking stable and normal so far. Theo's room always looks so well organised.
Yeah, wish mine looked like that.
Yeah, mine looks like that, except only if you turn the picture upside down.
Ah.
Stuff on the floor and, yeah, annoys Ali. Anyway, on we go. Both teams have got good-looking hands here. This could be a bit of a bloodbath.
Living Mana is the card that sticks out to me now for Theo, but I guess maybe Innovate should be the card that's sticking out to me, as getting this early game start can be a huge swing of how to win the game. But then there's Galactic Crawler too. So.
One thing about this mirror match is any small mistake, you lose the game.
Yeah.
Like, there's only 3 or 4 turns to play a lot of the time before it's decided. But if you make any tiny misplay, and there's lots of choices again in that time, you just straight up lose.
It's so easy to look at how crazy the start is and think, yeah, okay, Nick Chipper's got it, but that crab makes a huge difference. It's lucky that Nick Chipper decided to go with the Panther there rather than the buffs. It's one additional stat, so it does also make more sense, but there's a second crab!
It's one additional stat plus another one next turn with the power, so... Oh my goodness. Crabs.
Oh man, now... Okay, Theo needs to play these crabs as quickly as possible while he's got the chance to get the value from them.
Yeah, that's one ship down.
If Patches ever goes face here, then Nick Chipper just loses, I think. But the second Hungry Crab, the second Galactic Crawler, getting its proc is just too much.
Yeah, if Netherlands needed a pick-me-up after that last game, shouldn't take long here.
And does Patches ever trade, realistically? I can't help but wonder if Ukraine just play Power of the Wild to buff everything and trade the Panther. No, that's so bad.
Well, Patches always goes face. Yeah, just hit them. You've got more things to hit them with.
Oh dear.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm ready for game 3.
Yeah, how did you enjoy that game of crabs? Well,
Galactic Crawler going to do its thing here, eat up Patches. We're joking about it. The game isn't over yet, but it's looking like we're getting very, very close. Nick Chipper has an empty hand already.
Oops.
Does he innovate Living Mana? This might actually be the time when you have to do it.
You only get 3
yeah,
foods, right?
I know, yeah.
It's interesting. It is interesting. It can definitely be correct.
I heard, I think Soto was talking about this literally at DreamHack last weekend. He was saying sometimes it is the right thing to do. He was saying to Lothar, sometimes it's the right thing to do, especially against Pirate Warrior or other aggressive decks. Sometimes you need those 3 things early.
As it happens, by delaying it a turn, they could kill 1 minion, and then next turn get 1 extra. They can still innovate it for 4 next turn. So it's like a 2-minion swing by waiting 1 turn. Of course, Theo will have something to say about that, but 4 2/2s next turn could swing this around.
What is Theo going to develop here, though? He hasn't played his Patches yet. Flappy Bird is very, very... Sorry, Vicious Fledgling. I'm so used to calling it Flappy Bird now.
What's it called?
Vicious Fledgling.
I didn't know it had a name. I thought it was called Flappy Bird.
Well, I used to call it Fletchling. Vicious Fledgling is very, very tempting. He's going to go ahead and do that. And seems like a good call. There's another... There's no more Galactic Crawlers, Nick Chipper. Don't worry. Both of them have been played. Your Blood Cell Corsair is safe. Innovate, Blood Cell Corsair, Living Mana may just be the way to go here.
Seems okay. The fact that they can take down another minion with their face, and again, oddly enough, the face damage isn't hugely relevant.
Right.
Because it's all about whoever, we saw last game like this happen, whoever just gets the board just does overwhelming chunks of damage in the end.
Oh yeah, gonna go with that. As you were about to say, hero powering seems tempting. It means 5 Living Mana crystals next turn. I guess if Nick Chipper now picks up Savage Roar, then Living Mana next turn and then Innovate Savage Roar becomes an option.
There are more crabs.
More crabs. No Murlocs though.
But more importantly, there's a Vicious Fledgling that's about to go face. Let's see how they want to do this, as Mark Yashaj looks very tempting to the layman's eyes. But they are going to just pirate it up.
And that's tempting too.
Notice that it's not an ordering mistake.
Yeah.
They did not want to draw the Patches, so they play the Corsair first.
It's very, very much the correct sequencing there. Ooh, okay. So can't be targeted, kind of protected against swipe, but that's not too relevant. Stealth is very, very strong for Vicious Fledgling, especially when it's
but they didn't attack with it. Oh, they have attacked with it, yeah.
Yeah, they have.
I'm going crazy. I think it's Wind Fury.
There's no Wind Fury on it just yet.
Yeah, just assume it has Wind Fury on it, because it always does.
Going to go with Death Rattle because it's going to completely contest the board anyway, and it's very unlikely that Ukraine are able to deal with the Fledgling this turn, regardless. There's the Savage Roar, so Living Mana into Savage Roar.
Yeah, it's a sneaker.
It's just a potential win, isn't it?
So count it now. How much do you think you can do with Innovate Savage Roar next turn? Do you need this one? They think not.
Well, it's exact lethal with just the trounce and the face attack.
Right. Yep. See how this works out for Nick Chipper.
There's no lethal, even if the Vicious Fledgling gets Innovate with Mark of Yasura, sorry, Mark of the Lotus and Hero Power, it's still not lethal. It's close, but Theo just doesn't have it yet.
Right.
Which means he really needs to consider trading. Mark of the Lotus and then trade the 1/2s in seems like a safe way of starting this turn.
And if they feel they're a long way in front, which they might with the hand they have, the Netherlands will play around Innovate Savage Roar because it might be the only thing they can lose to.
Yep.
And so we might see them, I'm going to say get away with this one because it is the logical play.
Okay. Still no Infury. Frustrating for Theo.
I think 4 Treants and a 1/1 is 9. Plus 10 is 19. Plus the face can't use his hero power. It's only 21. They are safe.
Okay.
If they don't trade too much, I think, because of the 1 damage, the 1 armor.
Well, they'll have counted for it. You're right. I hadn't taken the 1 armor into account when I did that last turn.
Yeah, I thought they might kill not a, obviously they want to leave the mana how it is. They've worked out they can't lose to Innovate Savage Roar.
It's exactly 22 damage. So yeah, armoring up and making sure to trade the Blood Cell Corsair into the 1/1 there, rather than using hero power to kill it. Because that's what you do usually. You use your hero power to deal with it. Why would you trade the minion then?
And being careful to kill the smaller minion.
Exactly.
Because they can afford to kill the smaller minion, but they can't then lose to Innovate Savage Roar, Mark of the Lotus.
Team Netherlands...
They've actually played around 3 cards, one of which wasn't even in hand.
Team Netherlands have worked this out exactly, and when they watch this game back, which I'm certain they will, they'll be very happy with their play here, I think.
Yeah, it's always nice to play around something and find out it was actually there.
Yeah.
Because quite often we say, oh, he's playing around this, this, and this, and everyone's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Well, this is why you care, because sometimes they have it. No play here for Ukraine makes it. Yeah, I mean, just no play. They couldn't find a play.
All right.
Didn't want to embarrass himself and just randomize things, so...
Theo takes the first win for Team Netherlands. Like with the last series, we're starting off 1-1 both sides. Again, don't forget, I'm going to keep reminding you guys this today. Every series or every match win today is that team going through to the LAN finals. So we're at the most important part of the Hearthstone Global Games that we've ever been at.
Yep, Czech Republic already through. They've already lost to Ukraine in this tournament once. And Stan Sivka said he's rooting for the Netherlands because he knows more of the players. But I think he's rooting for them because they don't want to lose Ukraine twice.
Let's take a look at the next game. It's going to be Tice versus Nerea. And Tice on the hunter this time.
Wow, hunters it is. Be interesting to see. I mean, all we can say, it'll be interesting to see. Tice has had yeah, just notice there's 2 hunters on the screen.
Yeah, that must have been a...
must be something else on there.
A slight mistake.
Check that out in a moment.
But yeah, Tice on the hunter. Netherlands have already lost to a hunter today. So maybe the fact that they're playing hunter now, it's their turn to dominate with the deck. Maybe hunter can go 2-0 today, who knows? Not a very commonly played class at all. But maybe there's not good reasons for that. Maybe.
I think the way that Tice approaches Hearthstone now makes him a good... addition. I mean, he's a good addition to any team. He's one of the best players in the world. But the fact that he's slightly off the competitive scene and slightly more into playing a lot more variety. In this particular tournament, you've got one of the best players in the world and he plays a lot of variety of decks. That seems to be a really good balance for Global Games.
Yeah, and not to underestimate Tice in the slightest. His performances in tournaments, especially towards the end of last year, he did a phenomenal job. Nerea also a power player at the moment.
I mean, Nerea may be the best player in the world on recent performances.
He was at
but yeah.
He was at both HCT championships this year, both at the Bahamas and at China, just using Hearthstone for holiday destinations now, Nerea.
Yeah, I went to China earlier in the year as well with WSG, so he's just been all over the place, well, all over China by the look of it. But his story is interesting. He took a break earlier in the year, not a full break, but he went down to 2 or 3 hours a day, didn't play so much Hearthstone, let his brain relax. And now he's gone the other way. He's just everywhere. He's playing everything he can right now and loving every minute of it. It's like he just revitalized himself and is now getting on with it again.
Sure. Well, I was about to say sometimes a break from the game can do that. It can make you come back and fall even more in love with it. But then it's difficult to call that a break. I imagine average person watching today probably only plays for 3 or 4 hours anyway.
Right.
If that, like, the fact that that's a break in itself speaks a lot to how much this guy plays Hearthstone.
Yeah, on top of 3 or 4 hours playing, he's still watching he was still watching streams. He was still talking to people about the game. He just took a break from the long, hard, try to get rank 1 legend type style grind. But he just took a mini break then. I don't even know what to call it.
Mini break, sort of half. He took half of his life and decided to just not
and decided to go and live it.
Just decided to watch Hearthstone instead. I don't know, like, obviously very, very dedicated to the game. All of these guys are. That's why they're on the team. That's why we've heard of all of them. The guys, the players for Team Netherlands, the players for Team Ukraine. I want to say it's a shame that they have to play against each other at this stage, but we're kind of at that point for each team. They all deserve to be where they are now. Some of the teams you're going to see tomorrow, USA, obviously, everyone would have expected them to get through to the finals. New Zealand kind of came in as an underdog, I believe, in kind of the predictions.
Yeah, I mean, the New Zealand team was definitely an underdog at the start.
They were, a lot of people predicted them as being like the first team out or something, or one of the worst teams. And I saw Pathva tweeting the other day, well, this turned out to be wrong. They're very proud of themselves, and they should be. They're going to be up against the USA this week. And then it's Mexico and South Korea. South Korea, Ravens pick. The only caster pick, I think, still in the tournament now.
Yeah, I tried twice and couldn't get there. But we're back into some Hearthstone. The Talkstone is done, and it is Hunter versus Taunt Warrior. And this matchup, it's frivolous to say it depends on one card. But if you can stick a Savannah High main, the old meme is still true. It is still really good.
Well, me and Cora were talking about this a lot last week. If Savannah High main goes face once, then you win the game. I don't think we were able to disprove that theory last week. It's something that people used to say a lot back during vanilla Hearthstone.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been vaguely true throughout. It's the 6 damage coupled with the fact that if it's gone face, then the warrior has no way to remove it, so it probably goes face again.
Yeah.
Rhino's pretty important in this matchup because it allows that all-important charge, which means the warrior can't keep playing reactively because you actually, when you have charge, you're kind of the reactive player.
Yeah.
Oh, long game as well.
Okay. Well, the more late game a hunter gets, the better it gets against warriors. Typically, I'm thinking back to control warriors versus mid-range hunters, with, as you said, Savannah High mains with freezing traps, etc. The hunter typically was just able to get a good board down, and the warrior struggled to remove it. It's funny because you can think of warrior as this class that has all of the removals. It has execution, shield slams, and brawls, and this and that. But actually, they don't run shield slam anymore. So the removal isn't quite as plentiful as it used to be.
Yeah, you just don't see much removal outside of the Whirlwind and Sleep with the Fishes combo.
There's no bash anymore, for example.
Right, yeah, it's just like a really weird dodge the board up deck. And cards like Call of the Wild, cards like Swamp King Dread, just for one that isn't in the hand, you can tech in against Warrior. Dread's ridiculous against Warrior because those 2/6s just attack and kill themselves. Right. Or get attacked, technically.
Well, what did you think about Noria using the Whirlwind there to clear up the Alley Cat and Tabby Cat?
So he clearly wants to preserve everything he can and just take every point of damage off the board. You don't know what you're up against. Like if Ties was then to spew his hand as a load more small stuff, Noria's still got the Raging Ghoul, or the Ravaging Ghoul coming up.
Yeah, Noria's made it quite clear that he wants to, as you said, preserve damage. He doesn't want to take anything. He wants to. He even threw away the quest, so it's just important for him that he controls this board as much as he possibly can.
Right, and there's no time to play that Whirlwind. Like, this coin's going to sit in hand for him, hopefully for a 5 or 6 drop. Next turn's going to be awkward, and look, if you...
Oh, not awkward anymore.
Looks good.
That's the turn.
Smile on the face. Definitely the card he wanted right there.
Very quick, confident slam there from Team Ukraine, but Tice now picks up Firefly. So he's got 2 choices. He can go wide. He can think to himself, hey, Noria just used up a Whirlwind. Maybe I just play both Fireflies and the Dual Macaw. Or does he think to himself, Noria used that Whirlwind pretty quick. He probably has a Ravaging Ghoul in hand.
He's going to start with Macaw and see where he ends up, which means he's probably going to play the Fireflies. That's a huge pick up there, the Rhino.
You've already mentioned how important Tundra Rhino is in this matchup. Well, there it is. Potentially a 3rd one. And it's there with Call of the Wild in hand too. So if it sticks, that's a nightmare for Team Ukraine.
Sure is. I can't even add anything to it, but yeah, sure is. If they can't get rid of it, it just gives the high main charge. It just gives everything charge.
It's just 12 damage there. Call of the Wild alone to the face there. 5 attack, Huffer, 5
Yeah,
attack.
I mean, if you get that down into the Call of the Wild, you just win. But Call of the Wild is a game changer in this matchup anyway. Even at the worst of times, it's just such. First of all, the Warrior does struggle to hang on, but tends to.
Yeah.
But secondly, it's surprise value. The Warrior may not even play around it.
Eaglehorn Bow, quite a nice pickup there for Tice if he wants to just quickly dispatch that Ravaging Ghoul. Smack that 2 damage into the face. That's 2 Whirlwind effects gone.
Yeah, he'll have been going through the options for the Companion. That's what would have taken the time there.
But the problem for Tice now is that we're now turn 4 and Naria has the coin. And you know that the Warrior by turn 5 always has a play, right? They've always got a Direhorn Hatchling or an Ali Armorsmith. Turns out here, Naria's got 4 drops anyway, but Tice will have considered the fact that it could have been any one of those 5 mana taunts that turn as well as the 4 mana ones.
Yeah, it gets difficult here against the Taunt Warrior already. How do you preserve? How do you get to turn 9 with the actual health totals being relevant? Because right now, even if you play Call of the Wild, it's going to be a nuisance, but it's not going to kill anybody. So he's just going to play the Rhino out there to get rid of this 2/6. Going to use his face to take a whole bunch of 5. This is correct. You need to keep that minions on board, keep that tempo flowing. And to some degree, this is playing to out, as well as the fact that he can play 2 beasts next turn.
Yeah. Well, now Naria just has to play Sleep with the Fishes. I don't think he's got any choice whatsoever. Acolyte of Pain plus Sleep with the Fishes just works as a turn here. Ali Armorsmith could come down, but the Tundra Rhino can hit it and survive, and then any other manner of beasts could come out.
Yeah, even Grandmother does 4 damage when the Rhino's down. It's just completely insane if it stays down.
I really don't think there was any choice there for Naria. Okay, now there is, though, for Tice. He's got Galactic Crawler plus Houndmaster. He's got Galactic Crawler plus Animal Companion. Pretty tough.
I mean, I've been saying all day that I feel if you get a Houndmaster to hound some masters, some hounds, then you're
to master some hounds?
That's what he does. I'm pretty sure
in this case.
Yeah, Crab Master.
Oh, no.
Doesn't get the same respect in the pub, but it's all right.
Hound Crab?
Hound Crab.
No.
No.
No. Doesn't work.
But yeah, the people in the tavern might laugh at you if you say you're a master of crabs, but actually this is pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's a 4/5 with Taunt, which is actually really frustrating for Naria because he has that Acolyte of Pain, and he wants to get more than 1 draw off of it, but at the moment there just isn't a way of doing that. So we've got a bit of a standoff here, stalemate.
Yeah, this brawl is going to be key, and when the Ukraine choose to use it, it will be better for clearing up a bunch of tokens later, but you don't need to now they picked up the Drake. And the whole game from their side will revolve around when do we put this down instead of a taunt minion, which turn do we do it on.
So I think Tice is going to want to bait out the brawl, really.
Sure.
Which means he may just go ahead and play Animal Companion plus Infested Wolf here. It's got the added bonus of if Naria doesn't have any way of popping the wolf before he plays the brawl, then the 1/1s will survive.
Or you could just roll Huffer.
Yes.
But it doesn't take anything away from your point. It's still actually very relevant. They could just wolf still.
So, yeah, so Tice just trades everything, right? But both of the minions that with more than 2 health into the Ali Armorsmith, puts Huffer into the Acolyte. Maybe he doesn't need to play the Infested Wolf here to bait out the brawl. Maybe this already does it.
Yeah, this might be enough.
Oh, we got Coin Drake coming up next turn, though. Yeah.
Wolf's definitely better in that situation. And then they just got to hope the next turn's a good one for them.
Coin Drake, instant snap play from Naria.
Yeah, pretty easy, especially, I mean, it was easy anyway, but with the second Drake being in hand, it's like, yeah, sure.
Oh!
Oops.
Got him. Deadly shot, nice pick. I was just about to say, why is Call of the Wild 9 mana? Imagine a world where that card was 8 mana and Tice could have just played it here.
I don't want to live in that world.
But Deadly Shot does the trick just fine.
Such a tempo swing here. The 7 damage he forces through is a beautiful bonus, but it means that he's just going to be able to set up the Call of the Wild to come into play.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him that the second Primordial Drake will come down and deal with the Galactic Crawler and the Infested Wolf, but at least Leok will buff up the 2/1/1s.
I feel, by the way, this is a snap play, but Netherlands are aware this Call of the Wild was in their opening hand. So they're trying to make it look like they have a decision to make.
Right, very clever. This is, again, what I was talking about earlier. You want to make it look like you've got decisions even if you haven't. Of course it was a snap play. There was no other play. Tice physically couldn't play another card in his hand.
But I think what they were trying to make it look like, because he hovered over a few bits and pieces, is make it look like it is a, excuse me, a kill command.
Ah, okay.
So by hovering over, counting some damage, messing around, I mean, it's not going to work, but you've got to try it.
There's a kill command. So Call of the Wild is only 9 damage here. It's 5 damage from the Huffer and then 2 from each of those spiders.
Maybe his eyes briefly lit up there. It's like, oh, what's happening? Oh, it's only Call of the Wild. It seemed to be the reaction. Because they can deal with most of it with Brawl. They're on 24. Now, Netherlands know the only thing that kills them now is either... They've seen both Sleep with the Fishes, right? Oh, it's second Sleep with the Fishes, actually, would kill them.
Yes.
Or the Brawls. And so there are reasons not to take out the Acolyte, for sure, because of the Brawl situation. They're going to have to work out everything about this, though.
I like the trade on the Acolyte there, just to try and prevent Nerea from picking up any more cards with it. Unfortunately, though, Drake and Brawl both look so punishing for Tice here. I don't know where he's going to get the rest of the damage he needs to win this game.
So kill commands 5, let's say 3 hero powers. They just cancel. And actually saving the Drake here, something that Ukraine have done all tournament better than most teams, is just save cards. Ouch.
That is disheartening for Tice.
Were they 2-1 down last week? They were, right? Before that crazy comeback?
They were. They were 2-1 down and then one game 4 and 1
That's
game
a Harrison Jones. The tech choices. This deck is teched to beat Warrior, or at least to give themselves a strong chance against Warrior.
Well, it's not beating this Warrior. I guess it's going to be pretty good against Paladin as well. Unfortunately, you mentioned this earlier with Warriors, Quest Warriors don't have many weapons. They've got those 2 Fiery Warx and then Sulfuris, and that's it.
Yep.
And just 3 maybe isn't enough for you to put Harrison in to beat.
He doesn't even face the board off very well.
And we've even seen Quest Warriors that don't run Fiery Works. Experimented a while back.
Right.
They didn't stick around because Fiery Works is too good. You wouldn't not run it. But it was tried.
They found a way to keep the Harrison. They're not dying for a couple of turns. Works out well for them because the Primordial Drake would have triggered the Enrage, and then Harrison would have gone.
Right. Oh boy. Yes, you take the Diehorn Hatchling.
I think you want to armor up, so you take the Hatchling, so you've got 2 mana over, or you play the Armor Smith. Either's armoring up.
Yep. Armor Smith isn't armoring up if Netherlands never play another minion, but if they never play another minion, then they never win the game anyway. So, no, okay, Ukraine, not even worried about dying. Just going to drop the Curator. Okay.
Yep, finishes the game possibly a bit quicker, but sure. This could be important.
Hey, it's Flappy Bird.
If they'd got that off the first one, things might have been different. Although they did get a Tundra Rhino, they wouldn't have complained about it at the time.
That belongs in
All right, Tice throwing down everything he's got. Ukraine now know how safe they are. No damage stored up in Tice's hand.
Yeah, just find a way of killing them in 2 turns. And go through the motions.
Attack seems good if you're trying to kill in 2 turns.
It does. Death Rattle seems good in a way, the plants. But yeah, attack's just going to do the job of 2-turn kill.
made to fit.
Plants would have just challenged some wide boards, but could have left some sort of Hound's accident. Nothing's going wrong here.
Actually leaving Vicious Fledgling alive, which is pretty funny. But with that wall of taunts up, that thing is never going face. I wonder if Tice has anything else big in this deck. That's not big.
It's not big. All it's going to be is bottom right buddy, and it's going to go 2-1 to Ukraine. Ukraine on the verge getting to the LAN finals.
1 win away. And that comes down to Dr. Hippie, who's going to be up next on Team Netherlands' side. So we're down to Mitsuhide and Theo, I believe.
Well, I wouldn't mind here if you've got two players you want to choose. They are two of the greatest players. So.
Theo did win his game. So he's going to be going in kind of, well, not on a high because they all play the games together. Don't forget, although I say, yeah, everything is on this person's shoulders, they are playing as a team. All the way through the Hearthstone Global Games, these guys have been playing as a team, discussing every move together. Let's take a look at what's coming up next. It's going to be Mitsuhide versus Dr. Hippie. Priest versus Paladin. We haven't seen a single mage today.
That is so strange. I think that a couple of the mages were hiding. No, just as the only mage actually hiding in the ace match. So yeah, mage not being picked. Interesting.
Which is bizarre because I feel as though looking back, although maybe mage hasn't been the most popular Hearthstone Global Games deck,
right?
It's been one of the most consistent. Every week, you know, you get solid 6, 7 mages, maybe more than that. I don't know. And recently, mage has been performing pretty well as well. We've seen secret mages in DreamHack.
Yeah, I think the idea of the secret mage is because of the druid thing.
Right.
So because more Jade Druid was expected, you go down to Secret Mage, and you can provide a lot more hassle for the Druids.
Okay, sure. But it's going to be Mitsuhide on the Priest. We've seen one Priest today, which is the Stansifka Weird Priest. So we see the players getting ready. Wow, talk about tidy rooms. Mitsuhide's.
Yeah, what's with that? I mean, I love the picture in the background, always have, but that room is... Who does that? Oh, I see it, so we can see the trophies. I mean, I work it out now.
It's just spot.
There's a clear path that just draws the eye to the doggo pick and the trophies.
Ah, okay, sure.
So you've got to keep it tidy, and after it's finished, you just throw everything back on the floor that's this side of the camera.
Yeah, these guys getting ready for an important game again. These guys are super invested right now. They just need to win this series, and they are going to the LAN finals of the Hearthstone Global Games. And being one of the teams in the finals of the Hearthstone Global Games, that's a big accolade. They've got that whole country behind them.
It's a lot of money as well.
It's a lot of money, but every country in Hearthstone, every region, they want their country to be the best.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of support from Netherlands, a lot of support from Ukraine, just fans watching and hoping that their country gets named the best team. It could mean a lot for the country. It could mean more invites across more players and more events, etc.
Yeah, when I was doing, before Global Games even started, I did like a preview of all of the 9 potential candidates for each, or the 9 candidates for each country before they were chosen. And 60% of people I ruled out from, because I was going to see who's the most interesting, because they said, want to win it for my country, want to win it for my country. That just became, it wasn't a meme as such, it was just like, I can't go through all these people who say they want to win it for their country, because that was everybody's aim. They just wanted to do it for their country. Sure. So we're now down to that space where they're doing it for their country, and it just turns out that some of these guys are players that we know very well.
Now, Mitsuhide's Priest here looks a little bit more familiar than Stansifka's. It's going to be a regular Dragon Priest versus Paladin.
I mean, have we just given up with Paladin at this point in terms of what sort of Paladin it is? Is Paladin just a generic phrase now?
I have given up on trying to identify Paladins. Obviously, when we see more cards, we'll see some of the distinguishing features. Outdoor Peacekeeper is one of them. None of these cards are really distinguishing. We know it's not Control Paladin, but it's somewhere between mid-range and aggro, probably mid-range. Grimescope
Chum helps a little bit. It still doesn't tell you whether there's a Deathwing in the deck or not, like it should, but you know.
And Paladin just still very, very diverse. Though mid-range Paladin was the top one for DreamHack Valencia, top 16.
Right.
There were 9 of them, and 1 UK Paladin, 1 Merc Paladin, 2 Control Paladins.
Okay. So I don't even know how you define the difference between mid-range Paladin and not anymore, because there was a period when Chum started getting played when it was definitely an aggro Paladin. And now Chum is in UK Paladin, which is pretty aggressive. Oh, no, it's not in UK Paladin, actually, is it?
I don't.
Now I think about it, they replaced with Argent Squire.
Yeah.
But it's in some of the aggressive decks. But originally it's in all the aggressive decks. Now, actually, UK Paladin's more aggressive and doesn't have it. Other decks that are slow because they have Deathwing and it's like a mid-range deck that keeps the pain coming do have it. It's like, what?
When you talk about versatility in Hearthstone, you tend to jump straight to Mage because they're the class with the versatile hero power that can go wherever it wants to go. But Priest and Paladin just seem to be 2 of the most versatile classes at the moment. Classes typically in Hearthstone are more versatile than they've ever been before.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
And this is a great start from Netherlands. In fact, it was Priest versus Paladin earlier, and the Control Priest of Stansifka's was just able to get that board really early, thanks to plays like this, buffing up North Clerics, getting card draw. It's down to Dr. Hippie to clear this as quickly as possible, but with that Potion of Madness in Mitsuhide's hand, it's not going to be easy for Dr. Hippie.
Yeah, the hard bit about this turn is you don't know what priest they are playing because Northshire Cleric's in every single priest, and Silence Priest has dropped off a bit, but if you leave this up and it is Silence Priest, you're going to lose. If you don't leave it up, however, if you just trade in with the chum and start doing a lot of damage to it, then you're giving your chum away.
Yeah. The buff on the Rockpool Hunter there is really frustrating for Netherlands, because if that was still a 2-3, then Potion of Madness would have just won the game.
Right.
For Mitsuhide right now. Unfortunately, he's not quite so lucky. Radiant Elemental doesn't seem very well timed here.
No, again, that Potion of Madness with a Radiant Elemental would be insane.
Game winning. It would just be game winning. Now I think Mitsuhide just has to heal the Cleric and trade into the Chum and just hope he gets more tools soon. He's going to want a Dragonfire Potion on turn 6. He's got 2 Shadow Visions to fetch them. So.
Yeah, still plenty of time, but no buff for this chum is going to be a big deal as well. I think if Ukraine picked up any sort of half-decent Murloc there, they would have been in a ridiculous position.
It's got to come down, though, and Gentle Megastore ready to come down next turn. Dr. Hippie hoping that Mitsuhide has no way of clearing away these Murlocs.
Yeah, the potion will deal with some of that.
Yeah, it'll deal with everything except the Rockpool Hunter. Radiant Elemental plus Shadow Visions actually seems okay here too, because if you get Shadow Word Pain from the Shadow Visions... Oh no, there's not quite the mana. Yeah, Shadow Word Pain isn't just free, like Potion of Madness will be.
Yeah, you can't quite do that much. And this is their last Cleric, of course. That will be a lot of their card advantage gone. But this deck just generates cards, so it's not too disappointing if you lose a Cleric.
Does Nether Spire Historian do anything here? A Nether Spire Historian and Potion of Madness to get rid of the 2-1 and the 1-1?
And whatever you play gets killed. It's just a case of, so if it's a bluff, not a bluff, but if it's a decoy, then sure. This is not easy. There's plenty of things that do okay. Yeah. And you're right, he's going to go for this.
Okay, well, it's Bookworm or Deathwing. Going to grab the Bookworm very quickly. Potion of Madness has to come down here because Ukraine just have to consider the possibility of that Megasaur. Oh, sorry, Netherlands have to consider the possibility of Megasaur from Ukraine's side. And there's no other play for Dr. Hippie. It's going to just come down.
Yeah, and there's not even a play next turn as well, so he's got to clear the way because he doesn't know if he's going to draw Finger. Presuming it's in the deck, it may not be. Curator is interesting, but yeah.
I guess it's health. It can't be targeted good. Protects from Shadow Word Pain.
I think, you know, they took a long turn in the last turn, so it could do. It's not stealth because you haven't attacked first.
What do you want to play around? Do you want to play around Shadow Word Pain or Dragonfire Potion? He wants to play around Dragonfire Potion, although this doesn't do that. Because, you have to then trade into the Historian and the Dragonfire Potion still collides your board.
Trying to work out if they get a sneaky 3 to face. The instinct is always to clear. You should always check if you get those little bits of damage to face, but they're not worth as much in the long run usually.
I'm not really sure what getting health there is playing around.
It just lets you just trade into stuff like Radiant Elementals.
Sure. Okay. Yep.
Glimmer Root. I mean, all the stuff in the hand as it happens, by the way.
That's a good point.
But yeah, it's not playing around anything in particular. It's just good practice to have big health against priests. Meanwhile, Netherlands have got a very awkward hand yet again.
I can't help but think they might have to start with Shadow Visions. Radiant Elemental plus Shadow Visions.
What are you looking for?
Leaves them with 1 mana. So Shadow Word Pain would get rid of the 3/5, but then Megasaur still sits there dominating the board. There is a Pain. Maybe you take Dragonfire Potion, though. Maybe take Shield. There's actually
so difficult right now.
They're all decent picks. I still think it is Pain, though.
It's hard to work out, especially with the rope burning, if you're going to be alive for the potion or not.
Yeah.
And so they're taking the
immediate payoff.
The immediate payoff. I think they might have been able to take the potion there. But the Draconid Operative is going to occupy the board. Bookworm is going to clear up something, so they felt they didn't need to.
There will be a secret agent coming through very soon. In the meantime, though, no Getaway Kodo. Which is, I would argue, almost always the one that you want as Dr. Hippie in this position.
Yeah, redemption in hand if you think you're going to get to the Tyrion turns and then just make weapons.
Yeah, I'm certain redemption's the pick out of these three. It's just I think Getaway Coda was one's notch even above the redemption.
Actually going to play it down now to make sure he keeps the board.
Reporting for duty.
Right, so this is where the Netherlands can begin to try and get hold of the board. They have got plenty of stuff to do in the next few turns. They've weathered the early storm. They're still on 30 as well, we should point out.
They have to consider the possibility that it's repentance. If they were to drop Draconid Operative here and it got dropped to 1 health,
Sure.
the 1/1 traded into it, that would be a bit of a disaster for Mitsuhide.
Yeah, and it does look like that's what's been played as well. That was part of the play for Hippie there.
Yeah, I think that's the bluff. Does Mitsuhide ever call it as a bluff? I don't.
And can he afford not to?
Yeah,
is the other question.
exactly. I don't think he does. So whatever minion he plays next is going to have to be one that he doesn't mind dropping to 1 health.
So you can play the Glimmer Root, North your Cleric. It's not the greatest, and if that is Noble Sacrifice or something, you put yourself in a bad spot that way.
Not too quickly.
Potion of Madness would have been helpful here, but unfortunately, no Potion of Madness present. No Dragonfire Potion either. That's a disaster. I think you just take
And
death.
they could have had a Dragonfire Potion, but they are cleaning up.
Now they're going to find the bad news that it was
Right.
a redemption. Oh, no.
Important for Hippie there to make that 1/1 minion to
Yeah.
make that work.
Again, Potion of Madness would have been nuts there. Take the Historian, trade it in. Sorry, not Historian. The Hydrologist, trade it into the Megasaur. Easy, but nope, it wasn't meant to be. And now, Dr. Hippie just completely taking control of the board. Don't forget, if Mitsuhide loses this game, Netherlands are out of the Hearthstone Global Games. We've seen this position before last week.
4 mana 7/7 on the board.
Oh,
Not quite how it works.
with Death Rattle summon a 2/6, that's much scarier.
Yes, he is overloading his opponent with big stuff.
I think Mitsuhide just has to bookworm here. Just get rid of the 2/2, put a 3/6 on the board.
Yeah, and I feel that Ukraine have outplayed the Netherlands in this game. I feel that they've made decisions that convinced the Netherlands to make routes that were a bit dodgy.
The mind games on the secret in itself was huge.
Right, and I feel like all the way through the game, the Netherlands have just picked differently to how you might pick if you were just playing casually on ladder against a random opponent, and that's in part due to how Ukraine have gone about the game. And you have to kill that 7/7 in 2 turns or you lose, so just challenging it makes sense here, I guess. I mean, sure.
You take the Inquisitor to play it on curve, but then you lose your hero power to heal. I think that's not an option.
Rallying Blade, if you can slide it in there with something else.
Hydrologist going to hope for a Noble Sacrifice later. Or maybe your own Getaway Kodo. Primordial Drake has the ability to start to bring this game back, but Vine Cleaver is going to do so much damage.
Yeah, you have Primordial Drake to start bringing it back. Priest of the Feast to recover if they ever draw a spell.
Ukraine is 6 on lethal right now. 6 off lethal right now.
Right. It's pretty ridiculous.
And I can't help but wonder if he does just push everything to face. There's no need to play around Dragonfire Potion anymore. It would have... Oh no, it wouldn't have come down last turn, would it?
No. You probably feel they've got one. They've cast both Shadow Visions. Oh, no,
Yeah,
you've
but
seen
you've
both
played
cards.
both,
You've
yeah.
seen both cards. So you don't think that. Not unless you think badly. That's the main source here.
Let me.
Do we 6/7? Oh, actually, the decisions are: do we 6/7 phase and do we trade our little minions into the cleric? Just gonna go for Vine Cleaver. That solves all the problems.
Okay, yep.
Not scared to let the cleric live by the look of it.
Go to the dragon. Well, this is still playing around a Dragonfire Potion
Yep.
slightly because the cleric in itself can't even, with Dragonfire Potion, get rid of the Gentle Megasaur.
Also is lethal next turn still,
There
so
it
that's
is.
fine.
There it is. Priest of the Feast plus Hydrologist plus Secret is an option, but it's just not enough.
Just pointing out that the way the Ukraine worked, that does mean there's 14 damage on board, which is lethal after the heal.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess Priest of the Feast Hydrologist Secret is enough because the heal on the Priest of the Feast
Right.
will put them out of range, and the Secret, if it's a Noble Sacrifice, will eat up a 1/1.
Do you ever win that game? You might. That's trying to work it out.
Do Netherlands ever win this game anyway?
I think I asked Gaskin that one time. He picked a line and said, "Do you ever win that way?" And he was like, "Ah, I guess you're right," and that they won with,
Yeah.
with his line.
Correct.
Can they ever get the getaway Kodo down into a Primordial Drake? Probably not. Probably have to noble sacrifice to not die. Pretty grim for the Netherlands. Ukraine do seem to be sneaking towards this victory.
They're going to try Repentance, okay. It's going to hit Tyrion, probably. Or a Murloc.
There's so many good things here for Ukraine.
Tidecaller plus Curator actually seems reasonable. You play around Repentance if you want to play around it. And then you've still got all the damage, you've still got the weapon. There's no point in playing Tyrion yet because you don't actually want to lose the Vine Cleaver.
Yeah, you have to kill Priest of the Feast. That's your #1 priority this turn. And then just set up lethal for next turn. When that's gone, you've got free reign to just get back into it. You don't want to give them another one.
Doing it this way around in case it's a redemption, so the 1/1 can just trade in. It's not. So it's not Noble Sacrifice, it's not Redemption, it's not Getaway Kodo. That leaves Eye for an Eye and Repentance.
And it's not eye for an eye on 22. It might be, I guess, but unlikely.
So, yeah. The bluff kind of has run out of steam.
Move quickly.
It's not Eye for an Eye. There we go. Confirmed. Repentance is the secret.
Okay. Are they thinking that we just get rid of this cleric and we can't lose?
Put your faith.
I don't think so. They're just going to go face. They don't care about the Repentance. Worst case, what's the worst case? You get an Ashbringer. They haven't been able to deal with your Vine Cleaver. They can't deal with your Ashbringer. So no help there for Mitsuhide.
So trading the 2/2 into the Megastore, trading the Cleric into the Tyrion, and then playing Dragonfire Potion, and then healing does put Netherlands on 9 and leave Ukraine with only 7 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Only 2 off lethal now for Ukraine. And simply the play Netherlands have to make, I think. Is there any way Drake does the job?
Not now, because the way the Ashbringer works out, you end up with a 2/6 Megasaur, I think. And the Ashbringer, instead of this weapon, which is the extra pointer you need to do the 7.
Yeah.
And that's probably part of their thinking, because that is one of the cards that could wind things up.
Hang on a sec. So, trade away Tyrion, play Primordial Drake, 7 health. It would take both the Megasaur and the Ashbringer to get rid of the Primordial Drake. So actually both plays seemingly allow Netherlands to stick around for another turn. Looks like we're going to go with Dragonfire.
Yeah.
You can just try Primordial Drake next turn, I guess.
Hitting their own face. This is the 7. They've wasted 2 mana because of the way the Ukraine played last turn. All right. Now you've just got 2 fantastic choices to think between.
Yeah, how does the Netherlands win this? Because don't you think you can just go wide, play Gentle Megasaur, Dragonfire Potion, heal would not be enough.
I mean, they win this if the hand is a bunch of small Murlocs and not the Curator.
Specifically small Murlocs that all die to Primordial Drake.
Right. And that's 1 potion gone. Ukraine now have to play around the other, even though they won't think the other potion's there because it came so late in the game for the first one. Oh dear. How much more stuff do you want?
Oh my goodness.
Just going to keep making them do it. Not one of these cards dies to Primordial Drake.
Well, just the Tidecaller. But nowhere near enough. I was about to say Dr. Hippie needs like Poisonous from the Gentle Megasaur and then he's got lethal instantly, but I'm pretty sure he's just got lethal anyway.
Yeah, this has been coming for a turn or 2, I feel. Mitsuhide just trying to work out, look, does this work, does this work?
What Paladin card can save me?
Right. Not
that one. Oh, wait, it's one of the better ones.
It actually is.
But it's still not good enough.
3, 6, 9.
It's just not.
Not going to be
Not by a
enough.
long
They've taken
shot.
it because it's the best card. They're working out. He sends out the well played, and Ukraine, who have already beaten the Czech Republic once in this tournament, join Czech Republic at the LAN finals later in the year. Dan.
Well, there you go. There's our second team through to the finals. Absolutely thrilled for Ukraine. I know we were both kind of siding with Netherlands a little bit there, kind of the underdog, but I mean, it's just because Ukraine already win everything, right?
Right,
So
exactly.
It's not a surprise in the slightest to see them there. Very exciting. It's going to be a great finals. We can tell that already. Let's take a look at how the last series went.
And that is how it went.
Very similar to the first series we had today, actually. Like
Yeah.
One team won game one, other team won game two, first team won the next two. Exactly the same both times.
Pattern both times. The reason the UK and Czech Republic thing was big for us is because they were both unbeaten in their group when they played.
Right.
So that's why I've mentioned that a couple of times.
Yep.
It was kind of a big deal. They'd both said they wanted to go 5-0. Neither of them did.
Well, no one did,
'Cause-
actually.
yeah.
But them specifically because of each other. There may be a rematch to remember there. We're going to have an interview with one of the players from Team Ukraine. Hey, Naria. Congratulations on being our second team through to the finals. How are Team Ukraine feeling at the moment? You guys happy to be here?
Yeah, Nick Chipper is very happy.
Nick Chipper's very happy.
Yes.
You personally have took some time off early in the year, not time off, but some reduced workload, and you're now just winning everything. Did that help massively? Obviously, it helped quite a lot. How did it feel?
I think it just helps with, how I play the game, and Kalanta as well. He plays competitively more, so we have energy and desire to play better. Yeah.
So we already have Team Czech Republic through to the finals now, and now we've got you guys. There's 4 more teams that have to duke it out to work out which of those are going to get through. But which team are Ukraine most afraid of, if any, and which team are Ukraine most looking forward to getting to play against?
I think we would like to play against Czech Republic as well again because they want to play against us. We want to prove to be a stronger team than they are. But it also will be a fun match. We are friends with each other, so yeah.
And are you guys, are you gonna win? Do you think you're gonna win the whole thing?
I can't predict that because
I want confidence from you guys. Come on, you guys win everything.
Sure.
Yeah, that didn't sound so confident.
Not so
but
confident.
we'll
But good
take
luck
it.
out there anyway.
Thanks for your time. Congratulations on your win. We'll see you at the LAN finals.
See.
I was expecting something really, confident from Team Ukraine. The guys that win everything, but I guess they're humble.
They are indeed humble, and they do win a lot. But you can't speak for the whole team. You can't say, hey, Kalento says we're going to win everything. I'm pretty sure Kalento would say that, but,
Well, he told us that Nick Chipper's very excited to go to the LAN.
Yeah, that's interesting as well, because obviously Nick Chipper doesn't get quite as much exposure as the other guys, and he is a superb Hearthstone player, and it will be good to see him out there.
I'm sure Raven will be very excited to see him.
Yeah, the connection there, for those who don't know, is both are pretty much hunter lunatics.
Yep.
Nick Chipper, Orange might have something to say to it, or Old Orange might, but Nick Chipper is the hunter god.
As we watch back, speaking of Hunter doing its thing, it was Kalento just beating Tyler pretty hard with that 20 attack, scavenging hyena. Next up, Theo got his win with the Druids. He got this insane start, managed to force the situation so that Nick Chipper will 1 damage off lethal, and did take this game, but unfortunately the rest of the series didn't look so hot for them.
This was really clever. They worked out the maths exactly for what they could take next turn.
Yep.
Killed the 1-1 instead of the 2-2 to avoid giving the mana to play around Innovate, Savage Draw, Mark of the Lotus. Yep. And even though that wasn't necessary, it was necessary to play around Innovate, Savage Draw.
You play around everything, and they did play around one of the exact tools that the other team had. So hats off to Theo and Team Netherlands for making that play. But then unfortunately, Tice wasn't able to get his win with the Hunter against Nairea's Quest Warrior. Nairea was just able to clear the board too many times. That brawl was devastating. The Primordial Drakes in particular really did some work there.
Yeah, and that game just was kind of strange, just didn't really get into it early on, even though they had an okay hand. And then this game, the Priest, a couple of decisions early. Again, Netherlands a couple of times deferred killing stuff, deferred making boards, and whether right or wrong, that ended up punishing them in the end in a lot of the 2 of these games.
And that is it. Czech Republic and Ukraine are the first 2 teams through to the Hearthstone Global Games finals. There are still 2 more teams that will be joining them. All 4 teams are going to be going there. Let's take a look at the bracket and see where we are now. Czech Republic there. United States and New Zealand still have to play on Thursday.
Right.
We look at the next page. Mexico, South Korea still have to play on Thursday, but there's Ukraine with a little crown ready to join the other teams at the finals.
When we interviewed Mexico and said, who do you want to play? They instantly said, we want to play the USA.
Oh.
So Thursday's got that on the line as well. If both can get through, they might get their chance.
Yeah, I mean, that's very exciting. They don't have to play the USA to get to the finals.
Right.
They have to play against South Korea, I think. But if they win, USA win, then yeah, they'll get to do that match. Czech Republic versus Ukraine, they'll get to do that match. We've got a lot to look forward to in the finals. But first, thanks for watching from everyone here in Poland, from Lorinda, from myself, from Gaskin, Raven, Sotter. We've all been here doing this. Thank you from production as well. We've had a great time. Don't forget, there's more Hearthstone Global Games on Thursday. I believe it's 3 a.m. CEST, I think.
Cool, nice early start to the day.
Very early start if you want to get up that early in Europe. Obviously, that's the broadcast from the American studio. But one last time, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon.